Stories are powerful tools for improving English speaking skills because they immerse you in language, context, and emotion. When you engage with a story, you encounter new vocabulary, phrases, and sentence structures in a natural, memorable way. Stories also stimulate your imagination, making it easier to recall and use the language in conversations. By listening to or reading stories, you learn how native speakers express ideas, emotions, and dialogues, which helps you develop fluency and confidence in speaking. This is the story of Arav Mehta, a boy from a small village who faced unimaginable hardships after losing his mother. Driven by a dream to become an actor, he left behind his love and everything he knew to pursue his passion in Mumbai. With nothing but determination, Arav battled hunger, homelessness, and countless rejections. Yet, he never gave up. Through perseverance, he rose from poverty to become one of the most respected actors in the industry. Arav's journey is a powerful reminder that with unwavering belief and relentless effort, even the most impossible dreams can become reality. A poor boy story. Arav Mehta was a 19-year-old boy who lived in a small village called Devpur. He was a tall, lean young man with a dream that seemed impossible to everyone around him. Arav had dark, curly hair, deep brown eyes, and a smile that could light up the darkest of days. But behind that smile was a life filled with pain and hardship. Arav's family was very poor. His father had passed away when he was just a child, and his mother, Maya, worked hard as a tailor to support him. Despite their struggles, Arav and his mother shared a strong bond. She always encouraged him to dream big, even when they barely had enough to eat. But life took a tragic turn when Arav was 17. His mother fell seriously ill, and they didn't have the money to afford proper treatment. Arav did everything he could, working odd jobs, borrowing money, and even selling their small house, but it wasn't enough. One cold winter night, his mother passed away in his arms, leaving him alone in the world. Arav's dream. After his mother's death, Arav was devastated. He had lost the only person who truly cared for him. But amidst the pain, he remembered his mother's words, "Never give up on your dreams, Arav." He knew he had to make something of his life, not just for himself, but for his mother, who had sacrificed everything for him. Arav had always dreamed of becoming an actor. He would often watch old Bollywood movies on a small, worn-out TV in their tiny home. The way the actors moved, spoke, and made people feel inspired him. He wanted to be like them, to make people smile, cry, and feel emotions through his acting. Arav decided that he would go to Mumbai, the city of dreams, and become an actor. But he wasn't just going for himself. He was going to fulfill the dream his mother had for him. Love and farewell. Before leaving for Mumbai, Arav met his girlfriend, Riya. Riya was the same age as Arav, with long black hair and bright, hopeful eyes. They had been together since childhood, sharing everything from their dreams to their worries. Riya loved Arav deeply and believed in him, even when he doubted himself. They met at their favorite spot, a small, secluded hill overlooking the village. It was a place where they had shared many memories, from childhood games to teenage dreams. As they sat together, Arif told her about his plan to go to Mumbai. "Riya, I have to do this," Arif said, his voice filled with determination. "I want to become an actor, to make my mother proud, and to give us a better life." Tears welled up in Riya's eyes. She knew how much this meant to him, but the thought of being apart was painful. "Arif, I believe in you, but promise me you'll come back for me. Promise me that no matter what happens, we'll be together." Arif took her hands in his and looked into her eyes. "I promise, Riya. I'll go to Mumbai, become an actor, and when I succeed, I'll come back and marry you. I'll make sure we have a life filled with happiness." He leaned in and kissed her gently, a kiss filled with love, hope, and a promise for the future. Riya cried softly as they held each other, knowing that this might be the last time they were together for a long time. The struggles in Mumbai. With nothing but a few clothes, a picture of his mother, and a heart full of dreams, Arif arrived in Mumbai. The city was vast, noisy, and overwhelming, unlike anything he had ever seen in his village. But Arif was determined. He knew that to make it in this city, he had to be strong. The first few weeks were the hardest. Arif had no money, no place to stay, and no one to turn to. He slept on the streets, often going without food for days. He would walk from one film studio to another, hoping to get a chance to audition. But everywhere he went, he was turned away. "You don't have the right look. You're too inexperienced, or we'll call you," they would say, but the calls never came. Arif's days were filled with rejection and hunger. He would sit on the pavement outside studios, watching the actors and actresses walk by, wondering if he would ever get a chance. Sometimes he would go to a small tea stall, where the owner, a kind old man named Shankar, would give him a cup of tea and some bread for free. Shankar could see the determination in Arif's eyes and often told him, "Don't give up, son. Your time will come." But the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, and Arif's situation didn't improve. He began to lose weight, his clothes became worn out, and the spark in his eyes started to fade. There were times when he felt like giving up, times when he thought about going back to his village and giving up on his dream. But every time he looked at his mother's picture or remembered his promise to Riya, he found the strength to keep going. A glimmer of hope. One day, after months of struggle, Arif got a small role as an extra in a TV commercial. It wasn't much, just a few seconds on screen, but it was a start. The small payment he received allowed him to rent a tiny room in a crowded slum. It wasn't much, just a small space with a cot and a single light bulb, but to Arif it was a step forward. With a roof over his head, Arif could focus more on his dream. He continued to go to auditions, now with a little more confidence. He practiced his acting in front of a mirror, studied old movies, and worked on his skills. He knew that he had to be ready for the day when his big break would come. The big break. After nearly 2 years of struggle, Arif's perseverance finally paid off. One day, while he was waiting outside a studio, a well-known director, Raj Malhotra, noticed him. Raj was looking for a fresh face for his upcoming film, and something about Arif caught his attention. He called Arif in for an audition, and Arif, though nervous, gave it his all. A few days later, Arif received a call that would change his life. He had been selected for the lead role in Raj Malhotra's new film. Arif couldn't believe it. After all the hardships, all the rejection, his dream was finally coming true. The film was a success, and Arif's performance was praised by critics and audiences alike. He became an overnight sensation, the new star of Bollywood. Offers began to pour in, and Arif went from being a struggling actor to one of the most sought-after stars in the industry. Success and fulfillment. As Arif's career took off, he didn't forget where he came from. He worked hard, staying humble and grounded. He became known for his dedication, often working long hours on set, always striving to improve his craft. Soon, Arif was commanding a salary of 100 crores per movie, making him one of the highest-paid actors in the industry. But despite his success, Arif never lost sight of what truly mattered. He kept his promise to Riya. After his first big hit, Arif returned to his village and married Riya in a simple, beautiful ceremony. They moved to Mumbai, where they started a new life together. Arif also gave back to the community that had supported him. He set up a charity in his mother's name to help underprivileged children in his village, ensuring that they had access to education and opportunities to follow their dreams, just like he had. Arif's journey from a poor village boy to a successful actor was filled with pain, struggle, and sacrifice. But through it all, he never gave up on his dream. He faced rejection, hunger, and loneliness, but he kept going, driven by his love for his mother and his promise to Riya. Arif's story is a powerful reminder that no matter how tough life gets, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, if you keep pushing forward, if you never give up, you can achieve your dreams. His life is proof that with determination, hard work, and a little bit of luck, anything is possible. And so, Arif Mehta, the boy who once had nothing, became a symbol of hope and inspiration for millions. He showed the world that dreams do come true, even for those who start with nothing. Settling into stardom. After the initial wave of success, Arif Mehta's life took on a new rhythm. He and Riya moved into a modest apartment in a quieter part of Mumbai, away from the constant noise of the city. The apartment was small compared to what other stars lived in, but it was cozy and filled with love. It was their sanctuary, a place where they could be themselves without the pressures of the outside world. Arif and Riya's life together was simple yet beautiful. They would start their mornings with a cup of chai on their balcony, overlooking the bustling streets below. Arif would often read scripts while Riya prepared breakfast, her laughter filling the room as she teased him about the intense roles he was always drawn to. Despite his rising fame, Arif cherished these quiet moments with Riya, where they could talk about anything and everything, just like they did when they were younger. But stardom came with its own set of challenges. As Arif's fame grew, so did the expectations placed upon him. He was no longer just an actor. He was a brand, a name that people associated with success. Every move he made, every decision he took, was scrutinized by the media and fans alike. The pressure to maintain his image, to keep delivering hit after hit, began to weigh on him. The burden of fame. Despite his success, Arif struggled with the realities of fame. The constant attention, the invasive questions about his personal life, and the endless rumors took a toll on him. He missed the days when he could walk down the street without being recognized, when he could go to a small cafe with Riya and enjoy a quiet meal without being interrupted by fans asking for selfies. There were days when Arif felt overwhelmed, trapped in a world where he was always expected to be perfect. He began to lose sleep, often lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if he was good enough, if he could keep up with the demands of his career. The fear of failure, of letting down the people who believed in him, gnawed at him. Riya noticed the change in him. She saw the tiredness in his eyes, the way he would sometimes drift off during conversations, lost in his thoughts. She knew that Arif was struggling, even if he didn't want to admit it. One evening, after a particularly long day on set, Riya sat down with him, her hand gently resting on his. "Arif, you don't have to do this alone," she said softly. "I'm here with you, and I always will be. But you need to take care of yourself too. You've worked so hard to get here, but it's okay to slow down sometimes, to take a breath." Arif looked at her, his eyes filled with gratitude. Riya had always been his rock, the one person who understood him completely. He knew she was right, but slowing down wasn't easy. The industry was ruthless, and taking a break could mean losing momentum, losing everything he had worked so hard for. But Arif also knew that if he didn't take care of himself, he wouldn't be able to continue doing what he loved. So, with Riya's support, he decided to take a step back, to focus not just on his career, but on his mental and physical well-being. Finding balance. Arif took a short break from acting, much to the surprise of his fans and the media. He spent time reconnecting with himself, rediscovering the simple joys in life that fame had made him forget. He and Riya traveled to his village, Devpa, where they spent time with old friends and helped out at the charity Arif had set up. Being back in his village, among the people who had known him before he became a star, grounded him. It reminded him of who he was and why he had started this journey in the first place. Arif also began practicing yoga and meditation, something he had always wanted to try but never had the time for. These practices helped him find a sense of peace and balance, allowing him to clear his mind and focus on what truly mattered. He realized that success wasn't just about fame and money. It was about being happy and fulfilled in every aspect of life.